Hi guys, here is Dio Branded with another video. In this case, I'm gonna make things a little bit different. Instead of showing replays of Master Duel, I wanted to share this idea that I got like 1 or 2 weeks ago, but because of time, I wasn't able to make this happen. In this case, is an strategy called Smokescreening. This is an strategy that you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh! As long as you have a side deck. So first I'm gonna explain what's XMO screening and then what's probably the most competitive approach if you are able to play a tournament with a side deck for Master Duel. So first what is smoke screening? The most easy way to show this is with examples, I'll say. Basically, you can smoke screen when you have a side deck and you try to change your strategy just to surprise your opponent as much as you can. I have an example here where you have, for example, a branded Despia deck that seems very standard. You can do like just normal branded Despia things here. But then on games 2 and 3, you can change your strategy by a lot. And that's what can surprise your opponent and, for example, get a Naughty K with Creme Maju de Asa. So this is an example of what you can do by smoke screening. Another example is, for example, this one, which in my opinion is a bit more extreme, which is playing Dragon Mates. So on the first game you can go for Dragon Mates, and then on games 2 and 3 you can try something very different. Change all the Dragon Mates card, all your engine for Magical Muskets. And then because of this surprise factor, your opponent maybe is like siding the wrong cards for this new strategy, and that could give you the edge. It's a very fun strategy. Sadly, it's not very competitive on the sense that you don't see many top decks using this smoke screening strategy. So the question is, can this strategy be competitive in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel? I feel that this is a very good approach to show that this is very possible because of the runic engine. Like right now, the runic engine is probably one of the most flexible engines in the game, and you can mix it with everything. If you have seen like the last YCSS, there are like natural runic decks. There are for higher decks. There are a number of decks that can be combined with runic and don't necessarily have to be stone runics. In Master Duel you have Stone Runic, also you have Ishizu Runic, and you can also play something like Sprite Runic, so there are a number of variations that you can do. Because of that, you can make a small screen by just changing your core half of the deck that is not a Runic half. I mean, you can, for example, change all the floodgates and all these stun things that uh, you will most likely play on game 1, and then surprise your opponent by or changing the engine for games 2 or 3. Now, why I feel like this is a competitive strategy? Because Master Duel is very unbalanced on 2 or 3 things. The most obvious thing is the existence of Max C. Because of that, a lot of players have to play 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Call by the Grey, 1 Crossout Designator, and even some people play like Ghost Bell, Droll Lockbeard, and a number of other cards that in some way can help you winning the Maxi minigame. This Stone Runic deck doesn't care about that. So if the opponent gets, for example, a Call by the Grave, a Crossout, those cards are very dead. Um, this strategy doesn't care about that. So you can have a very easy time playing against those maxi minigame decks, one card combo decks that can afford these deck slots to counter maxi. But they are not doing anything against you, like Nibiru, Crossout. Maybe Ash can be a problem. Maybe Maxi is like an upstart goblin, but it's not a big issue. And the strategy will be like winning easily like the first game, if you are in a format where You have to first go like 6-2, 7-1, 8-0. This is very solid. This is like a very solid strategy as we have seen in the Duelist Cup. And yeah, it's gonna do well. But then when the side deck enters and you have to make concessions or have to surprise your opponent, you have to think what the opponent will side against you. And probably he's gonna do something like Harpy Fetus Duster, a Lightning Storm, maybe like evenly match. But they are not gonna keep Maxi, they are not gonna keep Call by the Grave, they are not gonna keep Crossout Designator. That's when you can start changing the strategy and get this strategy going on. And that's the strength of playing this smoke screening strategy. Again, because this type of deck doesn't need a lot of extra deck slots, you can actually like have essentially like a 25 side deck by just adding these 10 cards that are not live on the first games, but in game 2 or 3, yeah, this is pretty much an spray, a runic spray extra deck. You surprise your opponent could maybe like not play Maxi, maybe he's siding it out for another out to the floodgates, and from there you could have a very sound strategy, a pretty sound advantage against the opponent. So that's the idea. I interesting if some people will be able to make this thing work. For example, in the following MCS is a possible strategy. The problem is 1 week from now, tournaments are gonna arrive and they are gonna pretty much destroy all the meta. It's gonna be a very hard time for decks or strategy like these ones to be able to keep up with tournaments. But yeah, I just wanted to share this probably as a fun or interesting idea. If someone can maybe try this, uh, maybe share the results, and just comment on what you think about this. I feel like this is pretty good. It's like an okay strategy that is fun and could surprise your opponent while still being very competitive. And that's it. Thank you for watching.